What's up, y'all? This is a tale of D&D awesomeness coming from the subreddit RPGGloryStories by u/Heikold. I read this story, thought it was awesome, and decided I would share it here. Click the like button for the algorithm, and let's get right to the story. Setting: the classic Red Hand of Doom campaign that I had converted to 5e for my friends. So, our paladin with a level of artificer had been throwing light-infused stones further into the cave so that he could see what he was doing as he didn't have dark vision. By doing so, he inadvertently alerted a large and difficult group of hobgoblin clerics and summoned wraiths in the next room, whilst the party was already dealing with a bunch of angry greenspawn razor fiends in the room they were currently in. The party had been too long without a rest, and the wizard blew through their last decent spell slot trying to fireball the new opponents. They rolled very badly for damage and killed none of them, going unconscious to a wraith immediately afterwards, dropping on a fly, and forcing the party monk to Prince of Persia wall run around the side of a huge chasm to dump a potion down their throat, leaving the pair of them way out of position for anyone else to help them. The paladin, ranger, and hexblade were pretty much out of spell slots and holding the line, but unable to break through to save their friends. The entire party was hemorrhaging hit points, and it looked bleak. As the DM, I was panicking, trying to think of a bone that I could throw them to not turn this into an ignominious TPK from bad luck right before the final confrontation with the BBEG that was set to be the climactic end to the campaign. At that moment, a grin spread across the halfling ranger's face. She gave her panther a big hug goodbye and leapt from her back over the first rank of hobgoblins, placing herself squarely in the middle of the vast majority of the enemies. This is when she executed her cunning plan. She'd been hanging on to an amulet of the plains that she had been gifted a while ago despite her terrible intelligence score. She activated it, failing the int roll, as was her plan. Suddenly, a portal opened and she, along with every creature and object within 15 feet of her, was sucked through it into the first circle of carcery to a chorus of laughter and cries of, "What the fuck?" from everyone in the game. She was happy for it to be a noble sacrifice, but what made it even better is that we were experimenting with, using Roll20 as it's easy to do, re-rolling initiative at the top of each round, so she was able to beat all of her new traveling companions in the initiative order. In her next turn, she barely survived the opportunity attacks to sprint away from them and activated the amulet a second time, just scraping the DC to successfully zap herself back into the cavern to greet the rest of the party, who were easily dispatching the remaining enemies. TLDR. Ranger used Amulet of the Plains and her own weaponized stupidity to avert a TPK by transporting herself and most of the bad guys to a different plane of existence. Now this is what I call peak D&D. You look at your character sheet, look at your items, and come up with a creative use that may not have been exactly intended. Well, I think that story was pretty epic. Let me know what you think in the comments.